Aaron Canada alongside John Schiffner on the Manager Show on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. And Schiff, well, first off, the most obvious, you're a little bear on your top lip.
Yeah, with one small exception, in 2006 or about 5 or 6 months, it's been 37 years. We've asked the kids to make sacrifices, to cut their swings down, to do things. So McGee said, "You should shave your mustache." So I did. What the hell? I'm still Schiff, I guess. So.
How big of a sacrifice is it for you to take that thing off? I mean, 36 years, that's got to be just a gigantic hurdle to get over.
It was easy. I mean, it really was easy. Got a trimmer out and, trimmed it all the way down to where I didn't have to worry about cutting my face off, and did it. So what the hell? It's change is good. So we'll see if this changes our luck. If it doesn't, maybe I'll grow it back, and maybe I won't. Let's get some wins is the idea.
Well, speaking of changes, I've just decided not to talk about baseball today because, 6-game losing streak, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think anybody wants to hear any more about that.
That was, I will say, it was one of the worst losses we've taken. We did everything you could imagine wrong last night, and let's move on.
So how's your fishing these days?
I haven't gone out. Just it's been so darn busy. Just haven't had an opportunity. We'll be, once the fourth gets over and things start to settle down and settle in for the second half of the season, I will be out there, and I'll let you know. And if you want, I'll get you out there.
How was your fourth? Did you get to catch up with a lot of people, have some hot dogs?
We had a lot of friends in town. Burns family's in town. A lot of my friends are passing through. So, and seeing people in the parade is just great. Just seeing old faces from years gone by. And, it's just really, really neat how that is such a neat experience, even for me. I mean, I'm trying to think. I think that was like my 28th or 29th parade in Chatham as a member of the team. So it was pretty special.
Speaking of hanging out with different people. We've talked about you and Scott Winterburn having a fairly decent history together. Did you make any new connections through the new coaching staff this year?
Well, just, Pat's been around. This is Pat's 6th year, so, and I met a friend of Pat and Burns today. And Sully's wife's in town. She's a doll. She gets it. She's a great coach's wife. So it's been fun. You just want to win some baseball games and just get a few nice wins under our belt. And I really do think we can, turn this season around and make a run and see what happens.
Now, you've been down here for quite a while. You live in Connecticut for the off season, then you come down here for the summer, and you've been doing so for probably longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
What do you love so much about the Cape after spending so many years here?
Well, I think the Cape itself, it's a phenomenal place. I mean, I'm one of these people that doesn't mind the Cape in the winter. There's some really nice restaurants open in the winter. You get a chance to go see those places. You get a chance just to, just visit. It's tough this time of year to spread yourself out on Cape Cod because the schedule's so compacted. The timing is just so. You really get a chance to enjoy the fall. September and October, phenomenal down here. And I think that's when I truly fell in love with it. When my first summer here was late. I got here late 1974 in August, and I came back several times because of being at Providence College. Came back several times to visit my host family through the fall and winter. And oh my God, it was neat that. I played for Harwich and lived in Harwich, and with the exception of George's Pizza, which is still open today, you could literally drive from Harwich to Hyannis, not see a car, and it was kind of neat. It was just a different experience. And I know several times I'd come down here, there was a snowstorm. Holy mackerel, was that neat! And I've always enjoyed Cape Cod. I mean, you can't beat it. The spring is fantastic, and I haven't had an opportunity to enjoy the springs like I'd like to, but you still get a chance to do some things. And obviously the summers are very hectic, but you can't beat it in the summer. So I fell in love with old Cape Cod, so, as Patty Page told us. And, then the league. The league had drew me here. The league has kept me here, and I have no reason to, want to do anything else until. I mean, there's going to be a time when baseball's done, but I'll always be here. Cape Cod is just a special, special place for me.
What do you love so much about being a manager on the Cape and having a new crop of young men coming through to teach and to mold into future ball players and just future human beings?
It's fun. It is really a lot of fun. That's why I do it. Over the years, I've had a number of offers to go to college baseball, go to professional baseball. And, with the exception of a few times where there was really a thought process because of the money, it's the greatest job in the world. I tell people all the time, I have one of the 10 best jobs in amateur baseball, and I truly believe I have the best one. I'm in Chatham, and you cannot beat Chatham, Massachusetts, to be the coach of the Chatham A's, Chatham Anglers. It's been a tremendous experience, and the parade the other day proved it. I mean, you just hear people yelling, "Chef, hey, how you doing? Remember me?" I mean, this is neat, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
What do you love so much about Chatham overall? I mean, obviously you've built up so many connections and relations, and you see people coming back over the summers. And the Cape is one thing, but Chatham seems to be unique of
Oh,
itself.
it's tremendous. The locals are fantastic, and I've known them, since I first came here, 1978, and I almost have. I guess I think I'm given more of a status. I'm definitely not a tourist. I think I'm above a wash ashore, but I'm certainly not a native, But because I've been here so long, there's a certain status they allow me to have because I've been here so long. I'm not a summer person, so I'm definitely a wash ashore, and maybe even a little bit, beyond a wash ashore because I've been here so long. But they're just great people. I've just enjoyed the entire experience of being in Chatham. It's Chatham, Massachusetts. It's an internationally known city. I mean, you can go all over the world and mention Chatham, and people say Elbow and Fog. They just know about Chatham and the band concert and the anglers. It's amazing how many places you go, and you'll see Chatham angler stuff. I remember I was on a bus, on a team bus, visiting my friend who coaches George Washington University. We're going over to play Georgetown University. We're stopped in a traffic jam on a bridge, and there goes a Chatham A's shirt running by. And East Lyme, Connecticut this year, we're playing East Lyme High School, and I look and I see a blue hat and it's a Chatham A's T-shirt in East Lyme, Connecticut. And the guy said, "Hey, I know that." And the guy goes over, "Yeah, I know." And it's amazing. It's the notoriety of the town of Chatham.
How do you feel being such a central part of the tradition here in Chatham for so long? I mean, you talk about trying to figure out your status and not being a native, not being a wash ashore, but I imagine considering your long-standing tenure here on the Cape, you would be considered to be, for lack of a better term, somewhat of a living legend.
Oh, gee, stop that. No, never here. I'm not a native, and they'll tell me that because the natives they're pretty territorial, but it is nice. It is nice to go to the 400 East or go to Pate's, go to the different restaurants, the Oyster and places like that. Hey, Coach, it's wonderful. But you got to keep it in perspective. You really have to. This community is made up of just a hardcore native fishermen and those people. And I am a wash ashore, and they will let me know that. But I don't mind the status that I have, and they're very gracious to wave to me and make me feel special. I think that's great.
I'm Aaron Canada. He is the freshly shaven John Schiffner on the Manager Show on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.